Hi everybody, Andy here. How you doing? If you like this video, share it. It's cool. Wanted to talk to everybody about this walking the dogma thing. Everybody's got all these beliefs. Some of them are dogmas, not really a belief based on facts and reason and logic. It's just some shit we'd like to believe. There's a lot of different examples of this, but the real point is it's okay for you to believe whatever the heck you want. I mean, it's to each his own, right? But when you go to start pushing that stuff on somebody, try not to be so vested in it. Because, if you haven't walked that dogma, you're in for a big surprise. And it's really your responsibility to do the intellectual due diligence of, is this thing I believe in for real before I start pushing my beliefs on somebody? Because, pushing your beliefs on somebody, there's like a boundary. It's all right to push truth and logic and reason and stuff on people, but it can't be just some like cockamamie fairy tale, well, I could fly if I just had some pixie dust. It doesn't work that way. So that's kind of what I'm talking about with walking the dogma. Before you go selling something, you might want to find out what the real gist of it is. A good example is this whole equality thing. If you wanted to be treated as my equal, then you probably would need a history of doing the kind of stuff that I did to earn the respect, because that's what you're really asking for. If you want equality with me, well, to be my equal, you'd have to enjoy a certain tiny little amount of respect that I do enjoy. And for you to get equality / respect, you can't just talk about it, you got to actually do it. So for me, I look at all this equality stuff and I'm like, are you sure it's equality? Because if you want equality of outcome, well, we all had the same opportunity, but some people came out on top, probably because they were smarter or put more effort into it. The whole equality thing is impossible to achieve because, well, you could have equality of opportunity. You're never going to get equality of outcome. That's a wholly different thing, entirely depending on the person who put in the effort or the intellectual due diligence to come out on top. We like winners because they won. Losers are kind of like depressing. The winners did the work. So if you want equality, we started the game at the same time for both teams. One team scored more points. They get more respect than the team that didn't. So it's the same in business. You're not going to get equality of pay if you're not the stud. Don't come crying to me because you didn't get paid as much as that other studly guy who was like super studly and came through in a pinch and worked late and came in on Sunday and made sure that everything was done on time. Yeah, that guy gets the bonus points. He gets the extra street creds. He gets the extra respect because he did that shit. If you're not going to do this shit, you're not going to be the equal of the people who did. I'm sorry, life ain't fair. Suck it up, cowboy. I mean, really, don't be a dick about this. Equality is a fantasy. You can't get there. You don't treat anybody that way. I sure hope you don't. I mean, the best we could hope for is you treat some people better than you treat yourself, like your children or hopefully, possibly your spouse, if your spouse is worthy of that kind of treatment. But equality? No. You don't treat nobody that way. So this whole thing where you're asking for it, what you're really asking for is respect that you didn't earn. Tough bananas. It's kind of funny when you switch that wording around because somebody picked this word equality because that's what they wanted. But The real word they should have been, I'd like to be respected. Well, they couldn't really go with that because everybody would just laugh because everybody knows the answer to that one. You want respect, go earn it. You know, if you're a gangbanger slinging rock on the corner and out your mom's bedroom window, then it's not surprising that people don't respect you. Whereas the guy who's like paying his own bills and taking care of business, that guy's worthy of respect. If you want to be respected like him, do that shit. Equality is a fantasy. Respect's a real thing, but you got to pay the price. You know, if you haven't paid the price yet or are not willing to pay the price, yeah, you're never going to get equality with the people that did. So, you know, when you walk that whole equality dogma around the block a couple of times, you find out that there's no way you could achieve it. And in fact, the people that are asking for equality the most are the people least worthy of respect because they didn't earn it. And it's just asking people or demanding, I demand that you respect me. For what? That's the real question. Equality of outcome? Come on, that's ridiculous. You're like ignoring all of the effort. So when you walk the dogma, you find these gaps in the theory, right? So if you're still stuck on this equality thing after asking yourself, well, do I treat anybody as an equal? No. Would I like to be treated as that guy's equal? Yeah. Have I done the stuff to earn the respect that that guy enjoys? No. Well, then shut the fuck up. It's a nice concept, but please don't go pushing that stuff on people, because all you're really doing is, you know, muddying the field with a bunch of feel-good crap that does not translate into the real world. You're never going to be respected asking and demanding for respect. That's something that's earned always, every time, all throughout history. Fear is some other thing. This whole respect my equality at the barrel of a gun, okay, that's like totalitarian bullshit, scheming. The reason you're not equal to the guy that's ahead of you in this, or you perceive to be ahead of you, is you didn't do the effort. So once you walk it around the block a couple of times, there's big holes in it. And you see this in like different places all over the world and all over life, all throughout life in general. You got people that are believing in stuff that they just can't back up with facts. Like, the electric car is going to be awesome as soon as we get this new magical battery. Okay, they've been promising us, you know, it's all been about the new magical battery for 30, 40 years now. Well, if you did any research on it, you'd find out that batteries are basically chemistry. And we've looked at all the molecular content and possibilities of all the different batteries, and you're not going to get where you need to go with an electric, you know, with a battery. Is not going to take you where you're going to go with a gallon of diesel fuel or a gallon of gas side by side. The gas and diesel is pretty tough to beat on energy density, and no battery I've seen comes anywhere near those kind of potentials, let alone dealing with the other issues related to battery versus gas or diesel. It's not even a contest yet. Here it is. Everybody loves it because it sounds nice and it looks, you know, it looks good up until you do the math. And again, it's a case where you believe in this stuff, but you can't back it up with reason, logic, facts, or math, or anything like that. all you got is some kind of feel-good, emotional determination of, what is and what isn't. Um, and it's kind of funny to watch people talk about, oh, you're a science denier. No, I actually know some science. I keep a physics book right next to my computer. I open it all the time. I keep science books around. I read a bunch of science books, and unlike most engineers, I actually read the science book from cover to cover, not just the chapter the teacher told me to read. I read the whole damn book every time with all of them science books. So, while I might not have the degree, I actually can get you a pretty close answer. And I did the math. I hate doing math, but I got to do it. So, I actually do the math. And the math on so much stuff doesn't work out because it was all bullshit to start with. Electric cars? Yeah, the math never did work. Hybrids? The math on the hybrid doesn't even work. I hate to tell you this, but just to give you an example, if you had a hybrid package on a car that was good for 100 miles of extra range, and it only weighed 100 pounds, I could still beat you with 3 gallons of diesel fuel in a little turbo diesel car. I could do better with that than the extra 100 pounds of weight, because 3 gallons of diesel fuel weighs way less than 100 pounds, and it'll take you way farther than 100 miles. If used well, oh yeah, way farther than just 100 miles. So we have a belief, and then we have the knowing. Okay, the knowing is stuff that you can prove and back up. We've taken this dogma over here and walked it all the way around the block, and it's still standing. Okay, now we can take it over here and stick it in the knowing part, the knowledge part. We know this to be true, like gravity. I did some research on it. Turns out gravity is pretty consistent. Every time I had a disagreement with gravity, it hurt. I ended up hitting the ground rather hard, pretty consistently, about the same velocity every time. Gravity's a fact. Gravity is a truth. Might be different somewhere else, but all the empirical data I've gathered on the surface of the Earth says that gravity is true. It's not a theory. It has been proven to my satisfaction. Whereas Peter Pan and that fairy dust thing, no, that ain't happening. Same thing with equality. That's not possible. Demonstrably so. You can't prove equality is even possible. You could hope for and strive for equality of opportunity, but that's totally different than equality of outcome. Equality of outcome, you're ignoring that what you're actually looking for is respect. See, none of it makes it past the dogma, the little walk of the dogma, it don't make it past there. So yeah, it's our responsibility as a person, as a worth a shit human individual, to actually separate in our own heads, first of all, that which is something we'd like to believe in. Like, this person is good, or that person is good, or that's a good dog, or that's a good cat. Okay, these are beliefs. The knowing thing. Okay, we need to make a dividing line between ourselves, between the shit we believe in and the shit we know. And it's our duty to not push the shit we believe in half as strongly as we push the stuff we know. Because the stuff we know is the stuff that we really should be passing on to other people, that we pass on this road of life. It'd be nice if we gave them some stuff that was for real, as opposed to some fantasy bullshit concept that just don't hold water. We wonder how come people are so stupid today. You think it might be the amount of times that they were fed a line of bullshit? I mean, we all agree that we're surrounded by a whole lot of stupid people. There was a solution to that. You could teach them that that stuff's not true. But we got all these people running around going, no, 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 this has to be true because my whole life is built around it. You can't be vested in a dogma. Try being vested in demonstrable truths. If, yeah, it's harder to handle the truths because, so many truths will just kill so many dogmas. Everybody's got dogma. I believe people are nice. Well, that's a dogma. I know some people are nice, and I can prove that. I've had a lot of time to figure out I know a couple of nice people. They've proven it. There's some bum at the park. Yeah, he ain't proved shit. Why would I treat them two people as equals? That's just stupid. So we need to get off this intellectual sloth thing where we let everybody else do our thinking for us. And, walk that dogma yourself. Because, I'll be honest with you. If you bring your dogma over for me to pet it, I'm probably going to kick it hard. If it's knowledge, if it's truth or some shit, it's not even going to notice. Because I've tried, you can fuck with the truth all you want. It don't care. It still is. The truth don't need a coat of paint. Dogma. That needs some turd polish right there. So, walking around the park, take that dogma for a walk. And if it's still standing at the end of it, then come and sell it. But, I know you're not going to thank me for stomping your dogma. But that's okay.